Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services, and I welcome you all to our new learning series via News in Focus. And today's topic of discussion is reservation for women in politics. Why we are discussing this news? Because recently you have come across the news where the leaders of BRS is our political parties. The full form is Bharat Rashtra Samithi, and the leader Kavitha has launched a hunger strike for the early passage of women reservation bill. And the protest, which was led by the BRS, has got support from many other political parties to augment the process and come up with the women reservation bill. So it becomes significant for as an aspirant of civil services examination, you should know the bit and pieces and more related informations with regards to the reservation of women in Indian politics. So in this session, we'll be concerning more on the historical part, what are the arguments that is against and pro argument, and some of the development that has took place. So before I start this session, I'd just like to show this image. This was the image that was released for the hunger strike that took place in Delhi. Now we are more concerned on knowing the part of history of political reservation for women in India. So it can be tracked back to the Indian national movement. This is where it all started. And the development stage start during the part of the Constituent Assembly debate, but it was rejected on that debate also. Now it was assumed that the democracy would accord representations to all groups. This is what the Constituent Assembly debate has called for, that we will not provide reservations to any specific group, but will accord to all of the group. Now, the Committee on Status for Women in India was set up in 1971, which committed on the declining political reservation for women and even for the representation of women in India. So, this committee has specifically highlighted the declining ratio proportion of women representation in Indian politics. Now, after that, the committee that was against the reservation for women in the legislative bodies, but they supported the reservation in local bodies. So this specific body, that is the Committee on Status for Women in India, which was set up in 1971, actually advocated for reservation in local bodies and not in the part of the mainstream. Now gradually, some state government has also announced a reservation for women in local bodies. We'll see the detail how it was conceptualized and what was the final result. Now, after that, there was a national prospective plan for women. This was there in 1988, which recommended for the reservation providing women rights to panchayat level to parliament. This is what the actual core idea was, but the final resultant was finally with the 73rd and 74th amendment, where the state government were authorized and mandated to provide 1/3 of the seats in Panchayati Raj institution, better known as PRI, and 73rd and 74th amendment is also known as decentralization of power in India. Now, in this, the second category that was given was 1/3 of the offices of chairperson at odd level of Panchayat Raj institutions, and even for the urban local bodies respectively will have 1/3 of the reservation for women. Now, upon all this reservation that will be given, the seats of 1/3 will be reserved for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe women specifically. Now, in this context, the state of Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, and Kerala has provided for a legal provision that will ensure 50% reservation for women in local bodies. Right? Now, moving ahead, I just wanted to give you a brief idea, a broader picture, how the journey for women reservation bill has actually started. So this was conceptualized in 1996, where the first women bill reservation bill was introduced. Now after that, in 1998 to 2003, the then government, that is NDA government, has tabled the bill 4 times without success. Right? Now, consequent to that, in 2009, the UPA government has tabled the bill against a loud protest, but there was protest from other political parties like RJD, SP, and JDU. We're not concerned about political parties, but you should know the background of it. Now, in 2010, the Union Cabinet has approved the bill, and in March 2010, Rajya Sabha passes the bill. But the bill was not passed by the Lok Sabha. So in November 2014, the bill expected to be tabled in Lok Sabha, but finally the Lok Sabha के abrogations के बाद, even the dissolutions of Lok Sabha, this particular bill was also lapsed. So this is how the entire journey for women reservation bill was. Now, women participations की अगर बात करें, only 14% of the women members are there in Indian Parliament, which is comparatively low to many other countries. If you see the part of inter-parliamentary union, India has a fewer representations compared to countries like Nepal, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh. So you can see it has only, this data is old, so here it's 11%, but currently it is at 14%. For other country, for Bangladesh, it is 19.7%, China 23.4%, Nepal 33.2%, Pakistan even has a good number, that is 20.7%, and Sri Lanka 5.8%. And these are the women candidate data from the political parties. We're not concerned on this data. This is more important for your examination. Now, on the part of the argument against this bill, so there was some argument pro and some argument against. First, we'll be looking to the against argument. The reservation for women counter the principle of equality that is enshrined in the Constitution, which call for right to equality for each and every individual under Article 14. So this was the argument against. And even it argued that the women will not be competing on merit if the reservation is given, and this could lead to their status in society, lower status in the society, right? An impression might be created. Now, reservation of the seat in parliament would restrict the choice to voters to women candidates. So these were some of the argument against the bill. Now, argument in favors of the bill says that the affirmative action is imperative to better conditions the women, since political parties are inherently patriarchal. So if this is implemented, a lot of women representation will be there, which will be giving a positive impact to the society. Now, despite the hope, the national movement, women are still underrepresented in the parliament. This is what the argument was. Again, this was for the bill, right? In favor of the bill. Now, leaders from several political parties argued that the decision is not about bill alone. It is also about changing the powerful enshrined interest in the Indian polity. So these are some of the pros argument. So I've tried to give you a complete picture of the historical background and how things has worked in terms of reservation for women in Indian politics. If you like this video, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube, and do not forget to give a like button. If you're new to our channel, you can check out the playlist section. There are a lot many videos that will help you to sail through the journey of civil services. And I thank you all for watching this video.